What is up, you guys? This is the Fallout What If here, and today I'm doing a what if. What if Deku had solo leveling the Yu-Gi-Oh edition? Yu-Gi-Oh. The Yu-Gi-Oh edition. Now, why this one? Well, because I thought it was random, and I thought it was a pretty good idea at the time. But I have more than at least 200. I have about 250 cards in my room, so I decided, why not just use it? Why not just see how this turns out? And who knows, this may be a good idea. A lot of people might like it. But I want to do the video right now, and I want to explain to you guys. Deku was born with this ability already given to him from some unknown, source. And we all know this thing already is going to give it to him once he has a near-death experience, or probably he's about to die. But, anyhow, he was born with this ability to see numbers. And as a child, he saw the numbers, kind of like Mason from Black Ops 3. He saw numbers around all over the place, but he never knew what these were. He thought that he was going insane, but other people made fun of him. And the reason why they made fun of him was because he was a child. There's no way that a child can have a quirk at the age of 2. And it's a possibility, but it's not possible, because he doesn't have the quirk genetic to make it up. Now, everybody saw Deku at the age of 2. Doctors, nurses, psychiatrists. People told him that people told Inko that her son was insane, because he just saw random numbers. He never knew what they meant. But Inko decided that her baby was smart. Probably Deku saw something that nobody else could. But nobody understood. So Deku basically took psychiatric exams at the age of 4 to see what was wrong, or to see if he had a gift. But in the very end, he was normal. His brain functions were normal, everything was normal. So, when Inko told her husband, Hisashi, what's wrong, Hisashi says that maybe he was cursed. And Inko felt sad, scared for Izuku's well-being. So, she says that she's going to raise him as a normal boy. Sure, she's going to have, there's going to be nurses, watching him at times. And sure, the teachers are going to be told that Deku has, a severe illness. Or maybe he has, this weird brain function where he's kind of, seeing things, They might think he's special ed. He needs special education. Or a lot of people just think he's retarded, but for some no reason uses numbers. Now, Deku was okay with everything. He didn't fuss, he didn't just make random noises. Throughout his years, at the age of 4, he was pretty okay. Until one day, some people figured out about Deku, and nurses coming by and checking on him. One of the people says, "What's wrong with Deku?" And they said he was a little special. he had a little, he saw numbers and they thought that probably he was a little sick. So that day, the child found out by her parents, because the parents are freaking jerks at times, they said he might be special ed or crazy. And one thing led to another, and the daughter spilled the beans. The daughter told everyone, all the classmates to hear. Bakugo, somebody who was more friendlier towards Deku, moved away from him. Everybody said they did not want to be near him. Everybody pushed him away. They saw him as a weird child. A very weird child, in fact. Deku was sad. He thought to himself he didn't know why he could see numbers. He was just born like this. So the next day came, and, well, Deku told, Deku told freaking, did I say, yeah, next day Deku told Inko, and Inko was sad. But she decided to talk to the teachers and say to be friendlier towards Deku. And you already know how students are. We all were kids back then. Real life, like real story. If you were told by people that you were crazy or you probably had a couple of weird things around you, or you were weird, yeah, there might be a possibility, but you never accept that. Just accept that you're a little different and that you can overcome it if you try your best, put yourself around the right people, and just be kind to one another. That will help you out much more than just popping pills every now and then. That said, medication is evil. I'm just saying, putting a lot of pills inside of you does not do the trick. It will hurt you a lot, and you will feel sad. And one day you're going to snap. Just to let you guys know about that. Just, But anyway, on to the story. Just, you may be special, but you're still a good person at heart. Until you kill somebody. Then you're pretty much a jerk. Or a dickhead. Or both. But either way, Deku started to be a loner. Heck, there was a girl who was getting beaten up one day when Deku got a little older, which was probably around when he was 6. And, well, Deku, tried to stop them, and I'm going to say it's a mysterious girl. It's a mysterious girl, so none of us know who it is. But you guys decide on the comments. I'll put down a poll, and we'll start to make this happen. But this girl started to, appreciated Deku. He even saw her abilities, and he saw that her attack power was around, well, it was around 300. Now, they're 6 years old, so Bakugo turned it into 450. Deku's was technically 200. So Deku leveled up a bit, although he's still not as average as every other kid. So he's below average. Now, loading into his brain, he realized that he wants to get strong. He wants to be powerful. Now, Deku tried to do push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, eat healthy. It didn't work. As he did that, all it did was raise his abilities up to Well, 25%. He did it. It was 450. I mean, not 450. It was 225. And this was half of a year. He realized that there's no way that he can get stronger. Doing all that will still be low. He doesn't have a quirk at all, so it's not like he's going to get the same battle power. But Deku decided on another thing. He will try his best to get strong using weapons. So, when Deku one day goes around and finds a wooden sword, which would be technically, a wooden sword, like a little wooden katana, Deku, from 225 to 275. The sword had 50% of strength, or 50% power that Deku wanted to use, but he didn't know why. He couldn't use it as he knew that he was 225 going to 275. He realized that having different items would give him a better edge, but it was futile still. He tried and used to swing the sword, and he only got up to 300. And Deku was always proud of himself until he realized something bad. The moment he lets go of the sword, he is still 225. That is what sucks. The sword was powered up only, not him. His skill was good. His form was but in the very end, he was still weak. Deku was frustrated with himself. He wanted to be like All Might, and he's seen All Might before. He has seen Prime All Might without the battle scar, or without the injury. He was 4,000 in battle power, in attack power, and 2,500 in, in defense. So Deku couldn't do a thing. He felt like this was just sad. How could he, somebody who's born in the world of quirks, not have one? The only thing that he has, which up to this day, at the age of 6, he still is weak. He still is considered crazy by, by some hospitals. A couple, only one, said that, one doctor, the whole time said that he was probably fine. It was probably something that he can only see. It was like a little gift. But around that, hundreds of medical professionals, not hundreds, but like over 50 medical professionals, like very good. Hisashi had to pay, but they were still stable back then, and they're still stable now. They all said the same thing. He was crazy. He was delusional. He had something probably wrong with his head. So that was pretty much it. Deku felt that happiness and he gave up. He didn't kill himself. He didn't, try to be, a hero. He gave up on that. So Deku basically lived a lot of his life now as a regular child. Sure, he tries to not jerk. That I was going to do something. He still jerks his sword around, but that did not sound right as well. So I decided to say workout. Not jerk. Okay. So anyway, Deku now is basically just, swinging a sword, and he just keeps going around and fighting. Sure, he's still weak, and heck, at the age of 8, his attack power is only around 300. With the sword, it's 350. It's somewhat reduced what Deku initially had. 75%, 75 attack power on that sword. Turned it into 350. Deku thought, hey, this is still good. He always had that little bit of hope, but he knew that it was over. So Deku, at the age of 10, this time 375, he still was losing power. Heck, it felt like since he gave up, he doesn't have a drive, and that was his mess up. If he were to be 14 around at this moment, he would have up to 700 battle power. Or attack power. Not 700, 600. Bakugo would have had only 800 attack power. Which, that's why I did it like that. So, let's just keep on to the story. Sorry if you don't understand the numbers. I will put down a couple of, numbers on the thing, or on the description, if I remember it. But a couple of years have passed, and Deku was 10. Deku tried to talk with a couple of people, until he one day met that girl that basically helped him. He felt happy that somebody was talking to him. But, that's such and such. After the age of 10, she left. Now, Deku had a little goal in mind. Become strong enough to just protect her. If he does that, then at least if he ever, has the chance to see her again, he'll be strong enough to protect her from anybody. At least anybody relatively as strong as him. So Deku made that his mission. Until he became 14. 13. Yeah, 13. When he goes to high school. Oh, and if you guys don't notice, I'm making this a freaking, college when Deku is, in school, when Deku becomes a hero. So don't worry. But everybody is going to a school if they want to try out to become a hero, which is called Hero Academy, not UA. So, in this school, people are trying to become the strongest and the best heroes for one day they can get their hero license at the age of 18. And Deku, gets strong. And he gets strong and strong and strong until there's a dilemma. Now, Deku gets into an accident. And on that day, he broke his back. Not broke his back, his spine was basically hurting. Now, I understand what you're probably thinking. But Fallout, I thought you said he's going to have a near-death experience. This isn't the near-death experience he needs. This is the experience that he understands. He needs to become stronger, but he became weak. And I know what you guys are going to say. I'm being cruel to Deku. Deku's going to have a huge power-up. And I understand he's not having a jolly time. But did the person from freaking Solo Leveling did? I think not. Let's just keep this down a bit. Let's just zip it. I know what I'm doing. So, we're going to skip around 3 years. Deku is 17. He needs to be. Everybody needs to become 18 in order to do the exams. And Deku's level is 500. Now, Bakugo is already surpassed that. he surpassed his original power. Now he is a perfect 1500 attack power. And Deku is only a support hero at around 500. He's known about medical knowledge, and he's known about all the strengths that he has. He basically lost a lot of his strength. He had around a good 750 until one day, since the car accident and a lot of hospital training, he became, well, he minused it to 450. And Inko was terrified and sad. And she wondered why. Why did she let Deku do this? Why did she see Deku be, a hero? Why did she not stop it? Well, because Deku says that he wanted to be still a hero. Inko said that he didn't need to be a hero. Basically just telling him straight up that it's no use. But Deku said, "Mom, I want to become a hero." Crying his eyes out a bit. Technically crying, tearing up. Inko says that, "Honey, it's not, it's not going to be good for you anymore." And Deku says, "I don't care. I want to become strong and I want to be a good hero." Deku gets up and then he feels a crick in his back and basically is shouting at the top of his lungs. And while this is happening, his back is hurting. See, Deku gets a good treatment of scoliosis. Oh boy, that's gonna hurt. Scoliosis, and when a crick in his back happened, he basically was in total pain and agony. Inko was crying, but Deku has something in his back, which is a support item. It's basically good to where Deku doesn't have it, or scoliosis, but every time Deku gets bigger, or his spine gets a little bit more longer, they will have to always, change it. So Deku said he was not going to give up on being a hero. Inko said, "This is crazy talk. There's no need." And Deku slammed his hand on the table and says that he's going to do it no matter what, with an angry tone, saying, "Mom, I know I'm going to be not the best hero, but I'm going to be one nonetheless. Please let me do this. Let me prove to myself that I can do it. I know this isn't going to be futile, but I want to become the strongest. I want to protect the world. That is my dream. That is my desire. Do not take this away from me." But Inko reluctantly said, "No." And Deku pleaded until 5 weeks later, until he was 100% better. 80% better, because scoliosis still hurts. He has to get used to the new back, to the new brace that's around his back. She says that she'll give him one more chance. One more chance. And Deku says thank you. Inko, in her eyes, she feels this weight. She feels this remorse. She feels sad. But she feels like she's regretting her decision already. So Deku becomes a hero. And that is how he becomes a hero. Or at least a support hero. So when the exams happened, he was in the other side, helping heroes, giving them items or giving them, what they needed. he actually got to be Bakugo's support hero. Because he saw Bakugo, and Bakugo, even though he bullied, Deku over the years when he protected, when he protected the girl, Deku still supported him. And Bakugo only treats him with as much respect as he would do with any support hero, saying just the lines, "Don't get in my way." Now, Deku says that he is going to try his best. He's going to work out more. He's going to be stronger. And since they get their first, what is the word? Oh, yeah, okay. They get their first look at UA High, UA, the college, and it's near the mountains, where a lot of facilities are used. And now, we go to Deku. Deku saying that he got in as a support hero. And Inko, is still scared, and is sad by his determination. Deku always looks at his mother, and he says, "Why do you always look sad?" I tried my best, and I became a good hero. I'm starting to become a good, hero. Yeah, I have to go to a college to learn more of this stuff, but I'm starting to become better. I'm doing more support. I'm giving support items. I'm also becoming much more good at roping and tangling people at times. Heck, I even stopped one person from doing bad in the exams. I can do it. And Inko tries to be all cheery, but Deku knows. He knows what's going to be wrong. So Deku stops with smiling, and he says to his own mother, "I wish you could see me with more... He doesn't know what to say at all, actually. All he knows is that, Inko doesn't see him as, as a hero. He doesn't see her. She doesn't see him the way he wanted her to see him. All he knows is that she doesn't see him as a hero. She only sees him as a young boy that still needs to be close by his mother due to the accident, due to how weak he is, due to the doctors telling him how bad his mental capacity might be. And even all that, Deku still wins above, and he became a good support hero. He's a support hero in training. He's a trainee. He's not actually a support hero yet. But even still, his mother is scared and sad. So Deku just, goes the other way and just gets ready to pack. Now, Deku's story is now going to take a toll, and it's going to be a weird, bumpy ride. Now, like I said, Deku's gonna go to the mountains. And in the mountains, there's a lot of greens and a lot of, grass. And he's passing them by while he's, while the bus driver is taking the students. And one day, or not one day, while they were driving towards the college, which is very far away, very, very, very far away, Deku's bus gets stopped. And when the bus stops, the driver says, "Sorry, there's something wrong with the tires." And Deku just, gets off the bus. So does a lot of other students. Now, they were supposed to stay inside, but since it's too hot inside the bus, since they turned it off, they decided, well, why not just, get, cold and comfortable outside in nature. All the other kids aren't going to do it, so they might as well. So when Deku steps out of the bus, he is greeted by a lot of wilderness. It's quiet, but yet he can still hear birds and crickets. Now, one of the students, since it was technically one of Bakugo's old lackeys, they decided that they might as well screw around with the animals and try to, hit one. Bakugo, hold on here. So anyway, back to what I was saying. Deku sees one of the students trying to scare one of the animals, and they find a cave. Him and a couple of people decided to go inside. Bakugo was one of those people. And there was a couple of more, and a couple of more, until around a good, 12 people decided to go inside there. So, while that was happening, Deku realized that this guy was a total idiot into bringing them into a cave that they don't know. But when that happened, the cave got sealed. And a dark, magical circle was there. Now, when this happened, Deku looked at the seal, and it looked so weird. And he says, "Hey, who put this seal right? Who has a barrier quirk around here?" And he was looking around, and nobody was answering, because they were looking at one creature. A weird creature. Sorry about that. A very weird creature. And while he looked at it, it looked so small. This is what he sees. This. A rainbow Kuriboh. Now, he doesn't know that this is a rainbow Kuriboh. So, when he looks at the card, when he looks at the little creature, he says, who's this little kid? Who's this little animal? And all you hear of the creature is just making little weird, adorable sounds. And Deku instinctively just held it. And he says, "Are you okay, little buddy?" And this creature only has an attack power of 100. And defense 100. And Deku was looking at this creature, and other students started to look at this and was like, "Oh, this is weird." And two girls that were there said, "Oh, look at that. That's adorable. Look how colorful he is, and look how cute it looks. Look at the little shark fins and the little hands that he has, and those green eyes. They kind of remind him of this. It looks like a little small version of Deku." And Deku says, "Oh, thank you. I know the eyes look different in this one, but just pretend he still has green hair and all that stuff." Now, Deku, after a while of just looking around, he realizes something, that the creature was running, and it was scared. He saw the fear in its eyes. Yeah, sure, it was warming up to Deku, but it looked around and actually was trying to bury its head, or at least its whole body, into Deku's shoulder even more. Because they went inside the cave since there was no other way out. I should have told you that. Since the cave was gone, they went inside the cave furthermore. No, since there was a seal and nobody can break it, not even Bakugo, But even so, they said Bakugo shouldn't do it shouldn't, attack the thing due to the fact that, well, they could actually cave in and they could die. So they decided not to. They decided too early or too late to get out of, to not go inside the cave, because what was coming towards them was a creature that had swords, that looked all dark, with red eyes and a weird face. And Deku saw this thing, and he looked very closely at those numbers. And what Deku saw scared him. And he was telling people to just run away, to run, hide, move around, because what he saw was a man with 2 blades, and this power level, this attack level, was that of an 1800, way more than Bakugo. 1500, yeah, but 1800, of a creature that they don't even know. This was weird. And this is what I'm talking about. His name is Dark Blade. Now, Dark Blade, if you guys don't know, is a creature, they say he is a dragon manipulating warrior from the Dark World, but, nobody knows. But his attacks are tremendous, using his great swords with vicious power. I'm looking at the card right now on my hand, and I see that, so I decided to give you a little description. But this person is already weird. It's huge. Bigger than Deku. Bigger than Bakugo. Bigger than most of the kids. No kid is actually taller than him. But as bad enough as that was, he saw one more thing. And this is what made him even more terrified. This. The Vorse Raider. Now, if you guys don't know, he is technically he's a dark creature. They're both dark creatures that are level 4s. Deku, now looking at this thing, could see that these two have weird little insignias on their body, or on their freaking, on top of the thing. And it says level 4. Attack power 1900. Defense power 1200. He looked at it, the little Kuriboh, and he realizes that thing has the same exact, he has a thing too. He has little stars. And Deku tells everybody to run. Bakugo says he doesn't care who these two people are. He says, I don't care if these people, these creatures are human or not. They're still going to die, because I'm going to be the #1 hero. And he just decides to blast both of them. He uses his barrage of explosions, causing the caves to be a little bit more crooked. And Deku looks at Bakugo, and he says, I told you to run. I said we have to go. Bakugo doesn't listen. He just keeps exploding, and he realizes that Bakugo is going to die. The Dark Blade pretty much picked up its sword and was about to slash at Bakugo, but not unless Deku can help it. He runs at top speed, faster than he can ever do at all. Well, what he thinks, since it's going to possibly be his last time running, he runs in front of, he runs and pushes Bakugo, and on the way, he gets his leg cut off. Deku falls down to the ground, actually looking at his leg and seeing the Vorse Raider about to grab him, and Deku just tries to hold the freaking creature's leg and try to push him away. And this is when basically Bakugo explodes the Force Raider. The demon-like face explodes it, causing causing that weird creature to be pushed back and to get more angry until it basically slashed and tried to slash. Deku put one of his arms up to try to, at least shield his face. Sorry about this, people. I'm trying to speak, but it's kind of hard with the sickness, and I can't speak properly. He's trying to, shield his face, but the creature cut it off. Deku looked at his arm and his leg. He realizes that he probably screwed up. He is a level 500. His attack power is level 500. He doesn't know what to do. He's just pushing himself back. And the little Kuriboh is basically looking at him and looking at his arms and looking at his legs. And he doesn't know what to do. So it just basically starts making noise for everybody to follow the Kuriboh. And Deku just says, "Go follow him. Just follow him right now." Bakugo says, "We're not going to leave you. I'm not going to lose you at all. I'm going to save you, and I'm going to at least kill these two creatures." But Deku says, "Bakugo, you're no match for them. Just please leave." And this is when everybody sees a white light. And this is when Kuriboh tells them to follow him. This is when everybody tells Deku to follow him. This is when Deku tells everybody to follow the Kuriboh into the bright light. And the Kuriboh basically is starting to, move around towards that white light. Everybody's starting to follow it, except for Deku. And somebody grabs Bakugo. And Bakugo is getting mad, trying to push them away. But Deku says to leave him. And this is when the dark blade stabs at Deku's spine, the same exact place where Deku was having the accident. Now, this is when he screams in pain, because this is something that he's felt once, but now to feel it again without being, knocked out. Oh, this hurts him a lot. Deku is fearing the Dark Raider. The Dark Blade, and the Force Raider. He is saying that he is going to die, but he died saving them, and he died at least a happy man, or not a happy man, but he died saving people and at least, doing what he could. But this isn't when a freaking machine just tells him, "Do you want to live again?" No. This is when a special lady indeed, tells Deku, "Does he want to live?" And Deku says yes. And every time she keeps asking him this, Deku just gets upset and says yes. And he says it again, yes. And this is when Deku says, "Which icon do you prefer more?" There was random icons around the thing. They said, it says, "Do you want to, which insignia do you want to pick?" Deku didn't know what to pick, so he picked something purple and black. The darkness. And Deku sees around, basically, the light. and he didn't know what was happening. Deku says, "Where am I?" This is when a girl with a cone-shaped hat, and not only that, she was wearing pink and blue. She had blonde hair and blue eyes, and had an insignia behind her with the exact same logo as what Deku saw. And Deku says, Did you trap us?" And, well, she said, "Yeah." Deku says, "Why? Why did you trap us? I was going to die." But she says, "But you didn't." Deku says, "But I was probably going to." "But you didn't. You weren't going to die at all. Not around, well, not on my watch, you weren't." And Deku says, "Well, am I in heaven?" She says, "No." And Deku says, "Am I in hell?" "Nope. As far as I know, you're still alive and you're still kicking." And Deku says, "We're not in Earth anymore, huh?" No. We're not on Earth." And Deku says, "Are you going to tell me?" And she says, "Yep, I'm going to tell you." And Deku says, "Well, what is it?" And she says, "Do I want to tell you?" And Deku says, Please, I'm begging you, just tell me where I'm at." And she says, "It's fun, it's fine." And Deku says, "What, are you saying it's fun or it's fine?" She says, "Probably both." And Deku says, "I'm confused now. I need an adult." And she says, "But on your Earth, when you're 15, you are an adult." And Deku says, "I need another adult." She says, "Well, I'm an adult, but I'll help you out." And Deku says, "Thank you." Now, this is when she keeps playing games with him from guess which hat am I in? And saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm getting sawed off into three pieces." And this is when Deku was actually being impressed. Like, "Oh, wow, this is kind of cool." And this is when he realizes, wait, this whole time I'm being, tricked. And this is when the girl says, All right. I am actually a magician of some sorts, but everybody just calls me DMS." "What's DMS?" "Well, it's called, I'm a dark magician scholar. But since I'm a girl, I decided to call myself DMG. Dark Magician Girl." And this is when Deku says, "Alright, so why do I have this weird purple thing on the back of my head? Or at least it's floating around me." And this is when she says, "Oh, I forgot, you're a dark based character now." And Deku says, "Wait a minute, I'm black? No, you're not black." He says, "I was gonna say the N-word." Oh, oh man, I wanted to say that, but no. No. Deku says, "Well, why am I dark?" And she says, well, and technically, Dark Magician Girl says, "Well, that's what you picked." And Deku says, "When did I pick that?" And this is when she says, "When you, used the, insignia, you grabbed it, you're technically one of the few humans to actually do that. Everybody either picks fire or water. One time a person picked wind, but, people are odd. You're the only person that I ever known that to pick dark. People were always scared of that one. But you probably didn't pick it out of, wanting it. You were technically not understanding of it. In your world, there's no such thing as, heroes. And Deku says, but we are heroes. I'm a support hero. And she says, not in the way you think. You see, people in my world, or at least people in different worlds altogether, in different universes, we choose one out of every 100 years. And, well, yours, well, you're the first one to ever pick dark. So you should be proud of yourself. Deku says, so what does this mean? And she says, well, this is actually something that we don't know. We don't know what you're going to do. Are you going to be good? Are you going to be bad? Are you going to be the rise of humanity, or are you going to be its downfall? The choice actually goes up to you. And Deku says, so what am I supposed to do now? This is when Dark Magician Girl says, there's a lot of categories here. A lot. From Winged Beast to Warrior to Thunder to Aqua. From Machine to Insect. There's a lot of traits you could pick up. A lot of people just either go with Spellcaster or Warrior. But like I said, you can pick whatever you want. Deku is actually dumbfounded. And this is when he sees one little odd character again. Rainbow Kuriboh. Now, Rainbow Kuriboh is snuggling up to Deku again. And this is when Deku says, oh, hey, what's your name, little guy? And it starts whispering, or starts, conjuring up names on what it is. And he says, oh, you're a Rainbow Kuriboh. Kuriboh. And this is when, Dark Magician Girl says, Rainbow Kuriboh. And Deku says, oh, that's nice. And this is when Deku hears this. Basically Queen's Knight. And she says, well, did he pick which one he chose? And this is when Dark Magician Girl says, yes, he actually picked. And she says, well, did he pick light or dark? And this is when she says dark, actually. And, well, this is when they, this is when the queens, when the knight says, oh, wow, that's a weird one, but you know what? Let's see how this goes. And, well, Deku says, why do I still feel, weak? Because I should be dead, but I feel weaker. And this is when, well, what's her face? This is when freaking, Fudge. This is when Dark Magician Girl says, the only reason why you feel weaker right now is because, well, since you need to take a rest, because we, repaired your arm and your leg, and also a lot of other things. Your back, and your forearm, since it was technically broken. Your head, since you had a mild concussion due to, you falling on the ground and you hitting your head. So a lot of things right now. You can get some rest. We'll talk when you wake up. Now, this is when Deku says, so, do I choose? And Deku said, and this is when Dark Magician Girl says, oh yeah, you have to choose one right now. And Deku says, well, there's a Thunder Beast, there's a dragon, that sounds kind of cool. And this is when they are like, oh, do you pick dragon? And Deku says, no, I pick warrior, there we go. And they're like, alright. And this is when, sorry about that, hold on here. This is when Deku sees that his body is becoming much more, in pain. Deku feels his muscles contorting, and he's a little bit more buffer. He has somewhat scars around him. And, Deku is, actually scared. He doesn't know what's happening, but he notices that there's a wooden sword right there. So this is when he grabs it, and he says, "What's this, and why can't I pull it?" And, well, this is when the freaking, Queen's Knight says, "Oh, yeah, just hold on to it for a while and try to go to sleep. Once you sleep, hopefully you hold on to that sword. Once you're done, you'll wake up and be back in your actual world. From there, we will, run you through the steps on how to become the world's strongest hero." This is when Deku holds on to it, and he never lets go, and he closes his eyes. The next day, Deku wakes up, and, well, basically he's being taken to the emergency room. And Deku's arm and leg are still bleeding, but they look like they're being put back. This is when Iko is crying, and Deku is saying, "What happened?" And, well, that's going to be it. I'm going to end it off here. Yeah, this ends off on a weird cliffhanger. Now, hopefully you liked it, and I will do part 2 probably today, but I gotta get some rest, but hopefully you'll like it. Like, comment, and do subscribe to the channel here, people. It's been the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.